We begin your news at noon with your first alert forecast. Residents around the Midlands are using the daylight to take a deeper look at the damage caused by last night's storms and possible tornadoes around Lexington and Richland counties. And as those storms move out, cooler weather moves in as the rain comes to an end, but some clouds continue to linger around the Midlands. Meteorologist Vaughn Gaskin has more on what we can expect for the rest of our work week. Vaughn?
That's right, Emily. It just seems like we just can't catch a break after the strong storms yesterday.
And now the cleanup begins around the Midlands as those powerful storms topple trees and more. The National Weather Service saying at least 2 tornadoes did touch down in our state last night. Our Caroline Hecker is live now on Saluda River Road in Columbia. Caroline, what are you seeing out there this afternoon?
Like you said, a lot of cleanup coming today. There is a chorus of chainsaws in this neighborhood as people begin to chop up some of these large pine trees that have fallen.
And Caroline, stick with us. We do have one question for you. As you mentioned, just incredible footage there of the damage. So thankful that no one was hurt. But what are their plans in terms of where they'll be staying? Certainly they cannot stay in that home. So what are their plans for where they'll be staying? Will they be looking for a hotel, staying with family members?
Well, last night they had told us when we were out here that they were going to try to stay in a hotel. Neither of the 2 residents that lived in this house have family in the general area. Their cleanup process will be ongoing. Emily?
Caroline, thank you for that reporting. And take a look at this video a WIS viewer sent in. Brandon Calder says he lives right near Riverbank Zoo and shot this video before taking cover as heavy rain and wind came into the area. He says the wind was extremely loud and blowing in all directions. Luckily, a spokesperson for Riverbank Zoo tells WIS they saw no damage there. From Richland to Lexington County now, where residents are surveying the damage done there during last night's storms. Take a look at the incredible scene at John's RV. This is on Glassmaster Road, just off of Interstate 20 near South Lake Drive. 3 RVs were blown straight through the center's fence and onto an adjacent property. Owners there tell WIS they don't know how much monetary damage was done, but say just one of the RVs cost about $40,000.
Just kind of not believing what's going on and just shocked at the damage that we've got and how lucky we are. Because like I said, we just moved to our new location just this past week. So it could have been a lot worse.
And again, the National Weather Service will be out today to determine whether or not those RVs were toppled by a tornado. The number of power outages dramatically lower than what we saw even this morning. Right now for SCE&G customers, there are about 50 outages in Lexington County and 60 in Richland County. Just this morning, there were more than 600 outages in Lexington and 500 in Richland County. The impact of these storms stretching across the Carolinas. In Edgefield County, at least 4 people were injured when the powerful storm system sped through that area. Officials say countless trees fell, power lines were in the roadway, and they say the winds were so strong a gas pump toppled over. The extent of those injured is not known at this time. The chief of the Meriwether Fire Department says even they couldn't escape the storm.
You wouldn't believe the amount of volunteers that have come out with tractors and track hoes. Unfortunately, we've lost a little bit of equipment in this event. We're trying to regroup, get our teams back together and get back out.
The National Weather Service says they'll be taking a look today at the damage in Edgefield County to determine whether or not a tornado did in fact touch down there. And at least 23 people have been killed, and there's a fear that death toll may climb in Alabama after tornadoes touch down in that area. Gabe Gutierrez has the latest.
The destruction in Alabama is devastating. Homes shredded, trees toppled, debris everywhere after multiple tornadoes roared through.
All of a sudden it sounded like a train or something coming through. It felt like forever, but it didn't last but maybe 3 or 4 minutes.
Overnight, rescue workers scrambled door to door, searching for survivors.
Everything was wiped out, like there was nothing left.
The National Weather Service says a possible EF3 tornado with winds of up to 165 miles an hour and a track at least a half-mile wide cut the largest path of destruction. The death toll rising sharply.
It's really bad. It's really bad.
The storm sliced through this gas station. Its owner, Al Patel, rushed to check on an employee.
When he saw me, he came running and he hugged me and he was crying like he was going to die.
The relentless line of storms also stretched into Georgia.
There's definitely rotation there.
Today, homes are leveled, lives are shattered, and the Deep South is reeling. Now, here in Alabama, the governor has extended the state of emergency. And again, the big concern now is what those search teams might find as they head out now that it's first light. Back to you.
Those 23 deaths are already more tornado-related deaths in 2019 than all of last year. And after that system left Alabama, it tore through Georgia, leaving behind devastation in Macon. A reported tornado in that area crushed homes and caused trees and power lines to fall. One injury was reported in that county. And if you have the WIS weather app, you were alerted immediately to the dangerous conditions in our area. If you don't have that app, it's free in your device's app store. You'll get alerts to warnings and inclement weather in your area. Plus, you'll have access to live radar. To our crime alert now, Columbia police are hoping you can help them find a man suspected in an armed robbery. They say this man, who's between 17 and 21 years old, walked into the Family Dollar on Leesburg Road last Thursday around 9:30 with a gun demanding money. Nobody was injured, but police are hoping his clothing and several dark markings on his face will make him recognizable to somebody. If you recognize him, call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC. And an employee at Brooklyn Casey High School has turned himself into Casey police, charged with third-degree assault and battery. Officials say an 18-year-old student told authorities Willie Scott Jr. placed his hands around the student's neck while he was being counseled for violating the dress code last week. The student claims he briefly lost consciousness but returned to class. Officials say Scott Jr. is employed at Brooklyn Casey High School as a teacher's assistant and assistant football coach. Traffic is flowing smoothly again along Interstate 95 in Orangeburg County. Earlier this morning, an overturned tractor trailer blocked all lanes of I-95 southbound in Orangeburg County near the exit for I-26 to Columbia. No word on any injuries from that crash. Within the past hour, Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott and Columbia Police Chief Skip Holbrook joined state lawmakers to speak on a bill regarding the unlawful carrying of guns. If passed, new legislation would make it illegal for convicted criminals to carry a gun if they were imprisoned for more than a year.
We need help. We got too many people that are dying from gun violence. And we see that it tends to be a small number of people committing the majority of our crimes. These are the ones that this law is focusing on. This is not your law-abiding citizen who wants to go out here and buy a gun. These are the criminals who continuously break the law, who continuously carry guns, and continuously shoot.
You may remember the Richland County Sheriff's Department and Columbia Police Department have had efforts underway to get guns off of the streets. The bill would also add higher penalties for violations and has bipartisan support. Protecting your personal information, it's something that's of concern to many in our community with scam calls and letters. But now WIS wants to help make sure you're prepared and protected during our Consumer Protection Week. All new details now on your news at noon. House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler has announced a new sweeping investigation into President Donald Trump's campaign, business, transition, and administration. House Democrats say this will be a broad probe into allegations of obstruction of justice. They're asking for responses to their probes within 2 weeks. The White House has acknowledged the letter it received today. Do you know the difference between a credit score and a credit report? Do you know how not to get scammed? And if you have been scammed, you may need help with what to do next. It's now far more common to be the victim of a scam. Today is the start of Consumer Protection Week, and WIS is teaming up with the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs to offer you the chance to ask experts any of your consumer questions.
If you feel like you've seen a scam, or you've been affected by one, or you know your identity's been stolen, please call us.
Call our phone bank today between 4 and 7:30 p.m. with any of your consumer safety questions. And take a look at this. An avalanche in Colorado is caught on camera. That cascade of snow ended along Interstate 70 there. Thankfully, no injuries were reported, but some cars had to be dug out. There were actually 2 avalanches reported within just a few miles of each other in the same area. So clearly a lot going on all over the country, seeing some snow there, of course, deadly tornadoes in Alabama. And we saw some pretty heavy storms here.
That's right. Yesterday was a mess. We had several areas that were under severe thunderstorm warnings and, of course, tornado warnings. And, of course, we did have that tornado watch for a good chunk of the day. And that was the active weather that we were dealing with. We have now seen that move out. We're actually going to have a couple of quiet days around here, if you will. Now, today's rain chance is going to slowly start to decrease, but daytime highs will be in the 50s, so it is going to be much cooler as we deal with these quiet conditions. Of course, we'll continue to talk about the major changes that we'll see coming up. Finally ready to start seeing some small signs that spring is certainly coming. Guys?
Vaughn, I can't believe it. Thanks for that. Well, it'll be a night to remember for seniors in our community as the Time After Time Senior Prom takes place this Friday. It's a fun event with food, music, and of course, dancing. Joining me now is Marty Colucci with Lisa's Care Connection. And Marty, it's called the Senior Prom, but this is really a fun event for all ages.
For all ages. And really, our goal here is to honor those really across the generations, to really look at senior life and seniors just in a different light. So it's absolutely for everyone. We've had a lot of students that have stepped up from the local high schools and also from the colleges. They'll be our greeters and our escorts and ushers throughout the event.
And we're seeing some video here of past events just to kind of show.
Actually, this is coming up. This is one of the girls that invited a senior to the prom.
Oh, these are the prom
These are some dates. Yes.
That's so nice. Kind of explain what's happening here. They're doing the promposals.
They are. They're promposals. So it's younger students asking older seniors to be their date for the event.
How adorable. So walk us through what happens that night at the prom.
Well, of course, our very own Lisa Gibbons will be here, who is always fun and brings a whole different realm of excitement. And so we'll have an opportunity really of intergenerational fun. We have a DJ that'll be, leading the music, and we'll have music from across the generations. Chick-fil-A is actually doing our food, so they're one of our food sponsors, so who doesn't love some Chick-fil-A? And then we also have several other sponsors coming in, like Blue Cross and Blue Shield. We have the Palmettos at Park Lane. We've got Right at Home Care, and then also State Farm, Amy Masson Cup. We could not do this without them.
Perfect.
So it's going to be fun. It's going to be just an evening filled with laughter and joy and dancing.
I'm sure. Lastly, Marty, tell us, how does this affect the seniors? I'm sure they just enjoy this so much.
They do, and all the money actually goes to help the programming so we can offer the free services at Lisa's Care Connection, which is where we do, and that actually incorporates our entire community.
That makes the event all the better, Marty. Thank you so much. We've got some information if you're wanting to know more. Of course, that's coming up again Friday, March 8th. So be sure to get those tickets. There's a number listed on your screen as well. We're back after this. Thank you. This year's USC Dance Marathon has raised more than $1 million to be exact. They raised $1,038,156. Saturday's event kicked off at 10 in the morning and ended at midnight with 2,000 registered students dancing for a great cause. The money raised will go to the Prisma Health Children's Hospital.
Awesome.
Looks like a lot of fun and obviously a success. They raised a lot of money.
I wish I had that kind of energy and spunk, I'm telling you. All right, folks, just remember that it is going to be chilly today, but you will slowly start to see a little bit more sunshine. It's going to take a while, though. 56 today's high. Tomorrow, just a hair cooler. 55 for you now. A couple of showers south of our area, not right in the center of the Midlands, and then waking up in the 20s for 2 mornings this week.
Ooh, really cooling off there. All right, try and stay warm. Thanks for watching.